Ever wonder how fast a snail can actually travel?
Snails are famous for being super slow, but just how slow are they? A common garden snail can travel at a speed of about 0.03 miles per hour. That's slower than a turtle. To put it in perspective, if a snail started crawling nonstop, it would take it over a day to cover just 1 mile. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite their sluggish pace, these little creatures are actually quite the adventurers. Some species of snails can travel as far as 25 meters in a single night. That's like a marathon to them. And they need to be on the move because they're always searching for food and a comfy place to sleep. Also, they have this super skillful way of moving by gliding across a layer of mucus that they produce, which helps protect their soft bodies from the rough ground. Next time you see a snail, remember, it's not just lazily lounging around. It's on a slow and steady journey, exploring the world at its own pace. And in the snail world, a leisurely life is the fast track.
What's the deal with potatoes having eyes?
Think potatoes are just for eating? Wait until you hear about their eyes. But don't worry, these spuds aren't really watching you. The eyes of a potato are actually small buds that can grow into new potato plants. These buds are where sprouts emerge when a potato starts to grow. Each eye has the potential to become a whole new potato. Now here's the quirky part. The reason they're called eyes is pretty much because they look like they're peeping out from the surface of the potato. In fact, in the 16th century, botanists used the term eye because the sprouts reminded them of the eye-like spots on peacock feathers. How's that for a fun history lesson? But here's the twist. Some farmers and gardeners can actually plant these eyes. They cut the potato into pieces, making sure each piece has at least 1 or 2 eyes. Then they bury them in the soil. With a little sunshine and water, these eyes will sprout and grow into new potato plants. So the next time you're making mashed potatoes, remember that each eye could be a new spud in the making.
Why don't grocery store apples go bad quickly?
Apples from the grocery store seem to last forever, right? But have you ever wondered why they don't go bad as quickly as the ones from your backyard tree? Here's a surprising fact. Some apples you buy can be over a year old, but they're not using any time travel magic. It's actually thanks to modern storage techniques. When farmers harvest apples, they often put them in a special cold storage that lowers their temperature and reduces the amount of oxygen around them. This kind of environment puts the apples into a sort of sleep mode, which slows down their aging process and keeps them fresh for longer. Plus, many apples get a quick bath in a harmless solution that gives an extra layer of protection against spoilage. This is why when you get an apple from the store, it can be as crisp as if it had just been picked, even if it's been snoozing in storage for many months. So bite into that crunchy apple and remember, it might be a lot older than it looks, but still tasty.
Why are flamingos pink? Snack choices matter.
You've probably seen flamingos and noticed they're pink, but do you know why? It's all in their diet. Flamingos aren't born pink. They're actually gray when they hatch. The secret to their rosy hue is in the shrimp-like creatures they eat. These sea critters are full of pigments called carotenoids, which are also found in carrots and give them their orange color. When flamingos munch on these, the pigments dissolve in the fats and get deposited in the flamingo's feathers, beaks, and legs. Over time, as they keep snacking on these colorful meals, their feathers turn from gray to that famous pink. It's like if you turned orange from eating too many carrots. Now, not all flamingos are equally pink. Those that eat more of these pigment-packed snacks tend to be more brightly colored, which can also make them more popular in the flamingo community. Science even has a fancy name for this: carotenoid-based sexual signaling. So basically, flamingos use their diet as a fashion statement and to boost their love life. Talk about eating well for the gram.
Can ants really predict earthquakes?
Got ants at your picnic? Well, they could be mini earthquake detectors. It sounds like a superhero power, but ants have been observed acting weird before earthquakes hit. Some scientists believe that ants can sense the Earth's vibrations before a quake. In one experiment, researchers saw that redwood ants near the epicenter of an earthquake started their day way earlier than normal and only calmed down after the quake was over. What's their secret? Ants have special receptors to detect vibrations while they dig underground. When earthquake vibes hit, it might feel like a giant is shaking their home, signaling them to leave for safety. Even though humans have fancy technology to forecast tremors, these tiny creatures might be nature's own little warning system. So next time you watch ants marching, think about it. They might just be the smallest seismologists on 6 legs.
The ant's sweet tooth. Are they nature's tiny sugar addicts?
Guess who loves a picnic more than you? Ants. But ever wonder why these tiny creatures go crazy for a drop of ice cream? Well, it turns out that ants have a major sweet tooth. See, these little insects are on a non-stop hunt for sugar because it gives them energy to work, and boy, do they work hard. But where do they find their sugar fix in nature? It all starts with a special bond they have with another garden buddy, aphids. Aphids are like nature's candy machines. They suck on plant sap and make a sugary liquid called honeydew. Ants are huge fans of this sticky snack and will even protect aphids from predators to keep the sweet stuff coming. Ants will even milk the aphids by stroking them with their antennas to get honeydew, like tiny farmers. So these bugs aren't just pests at your picnic. They're sugar-loving farmers with a sweet deal in the natural world.
Egg-cellent float test. Can an egg tell you its age without cracking?
Have you ever stared at an egg and wondered if it's fresh or a dud? There's actually a cool trick to tell an egg's age without breaking it open, and all you need is a bowl of water. Here's the science scoop. Eggs have little air pockets that get bigger as they get older because the liquid inside evaporates and air seeps in. When you place an egg in water, its age will determine what it does. If the egg sinks and lays flat on the bottom, it's super fresh. If it sinks but stands on one end, it's a bit older, but still good to munch on. But if the egg floats, it's time to say goodbye, because that egg is old and might not be safe to eat. Isn't it extraordinary that an egg can tell you its own story? Remember this nifty trick before your next omelet. Your egg can float to the top or sink like a rock, and it's all about the air pocket.
Is your eye bigger than a star? The incredible comparison.
Get ready to zoom past the sky with your eyes. Did you know some stars in space are smaller than the human eye? It's true. When stars like our sun get really old, they can shrink down and become white dwarfs. Now, white dwarfs are stellar shrunken leftovers, incredibly dense and super hot, but tiny in size. Think about it. You can look up into the night sky and see something that's actually smaller than your eyeball. How small? Some of these elderly stars get to be about the same size as Earth, which might sound big, but remember, in the cosmic scale, Earth is just a speck of dust, and your eye is just a tiny dot on that speck. This fact makes you realize that size in the universe is all about perspective, and incredibly huge stars can turn into space peanuts. Next time you blink, imagine that for a moment. Your eye is bigger than a star far, far away. Now that's a galactic eye-opener.
Why can we eat chocolate but dogs can't?
Here's a yummy mystery. Why can humans eat chocolate, but it's a big no-no for dogs? We love chocolate, but if our furry friends snag a piece, it could be dangerous for them. The secret lies in a special ingredient called theobromine. Chocolate is full of it, and while it gives us a happy little buzz, dogs process it much slower. That means the theobromine hangs out in their system for a long time and can lead to chocolate poisoning. Even a little bit of chocolate, especially the dark kind, can make a dog feel sick, giving them an upset stomach, or even causing more serious problems. So, what do we get from this fact? When you're enjoying your chocolate bar, make sure to keep it away from your curious canine. And don't worry, your doggo isn't missing out. There are dog-safe treats that'll make their tail wag just as much. Remember, sharing is caring, except when it comes to chocolate and pups.
Do elephants really never forget?
Have you ever heard the saying, an elephant never forgets? Well, this isn't just a cute saying. There's truth behind it. Elephants are creatures with amazing memories. They have the largest brains of any land animal, and their hippocampus, the part of the brain that's all about memory, is super developed. This powerful memory helps them survive in the wild. They remember where to find water sources and can recognize up to 30 absent family members just by a picture. Their memory isn't only about places and faces, though. Elephants can also remember human friends and foes. This fantastic memory of theirs might have sparked the idea that they never forget anything, ever. While they won't remember every little detail of their whole lives, when it comes to the important stuff, like friends, family, and survival tricks, you bet they have a memory like a supercomputer. So, the next time you meet an elephant, make a good impression. Who knows, they might just remember you for years to come.